All right, party people in the place to be, vandals, and all you mall shoppers out there. Get ready to go back in time. Put on your slickest pair of DC shoes. Put on a Volcom sweatshirt. We are going to the mall, goddammit, tonight. And yeah, we're here with a brand new episode of How We Get Here. And we're talking with a new cartoonist, up and coming cartoonist. I guess you've been around for a while. I shouldn't call you new, right? But you're kind of really making your name right about now. I'm going to go ahead and let him introduce yourself. How are you doing this afternoon, sir?
Good. Thanks for having me. And yeah, no, I mean, I've been making comics for a while, but this is technically, it's funny, maybe a lot of cartoonists feel this way, but it's like a few of the ones I put out early on, it's like, no, those don't exist. The ones that I'm happy about are like the last two and the upcoming third one. So it's like, if you look at it that way, it's like, oh yeah, they're kind of new-ish because the last one came out 2 years ago. So yeah, I think that's appropriate.
Yeah, I mean, like, you're super new to me. I just discovered you this year because of your association with what Joe's about to talk about, Power Pulp. But
Sure.
yeah,
They're
we're
great.
just super happy to know you and have you here.
Thank
And
you. Me too.
like
I'm happy to be here.
like I was saying, Joe, it's your part of the intro, bro.
Yeah, yeah. So this episode of How'd We Get Here is brought to you in collaboration with Power Pulp Comics, best of the best of self-published comics, all under one roof. So go to powerpulpcomics.com and check out the lineup of creators that are part of the collective and their lineup of books that they have offered on the site. And if you're a comic shop or a bookstore, they have wholesale pricing. So go on the site, fill out a form to get an account, and wholesale pricing is 50% off. So retailers get 50% off. And all orders that exceed $200 get free domestic shipping within the US. So go check out powerpulpcomics.com. All right, so let's take care of some business. We still have some giveaways that are live. Jim Rugg, we had Jim Rugg on recently. So his... we'll probably be picking a winner for that. We'll be spinning the wheel soon, so you can go watch that episode to enter to win one of Jim's books off the site. Just go down into the YouTube episode comments and write Power Pulp, and you'll get an entry to win. So we'll be picking that winner soon. We had the Clarity Brothers on. Same deal. Go to the YouTube episode comments and write Power Pulp down in the comments. And their book's hitting the site on July 20th. Yeah, July 20th.
Okay, 10 days, my bad.
Yeah, Mangled Man will be available July 20th. And we also had Tom Manning. He was our last guest, and we have a giveaway for that as well. So you could win one of his books that are available on powerpulp.com. Same deal. Go down in the episode comments for Tom Manning's episode and write Power Pulp to enter. And that goes without saying that this episode will have a giveaway as well. You can win one of Sam's books that he has offered up on Power Pulp. One of the perks, if you join us live and write Power Pulp in the live chat, you'll get 2 entries. But don't worry, if you don't catch us live, you can enter by watching the replay and just writing Power Pulp down in the episode comments on YouTube. So
And also,
don't forget, write Power Pulp to enter.
Yeah, and if you already have the Mega Mall issue that's available on Power Pulp, Sam is also putting out a new issue this month, so that will be available. If you pick that, it might take a little longer to get to you, but that will be available as well. So, like, if you already have the mall issue, you can go and you don't just enter anyways. Chip if you want to, if you're listening. So yeah, you could maybe actually win one of these and get a free comic from us that you don't already own.
Yeah. So I think that's it. That's our business, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, like you said, we might be doing an extra episode sometime here in the near future for a giveaway and to kind of talk about your adventure that you had last week. But aside from that, yeah, we are good to go on talking to Mr. Sam Grinberg about Scumburbia.
Cool.
Scumburbia, which, I mean, it is a great name. But aside from Sheena, like, there's not really that many scumbags in the book.
Not yet.
Not yet.
No. I mean, each issue is its own story, which, like, I like self-contained stories, but there's an overarching story that I like that I have written out that I do. There will be more scumbags to come.
Well, Sheena and what's his name? The dude she's
the boyfriend
kissing in the alleyway. He's pretty scumbaggy too.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Sean!
That's who the next. That's funny because that's what I'm working on now, and that's who the next one is about. So don't worry, you'll get more scum.
Oh, definitely. And people that have read the Mega Mall issue, the cliffhanger that you're left with at the end of it, it's still dangling. That does not get resolved at all. This is the issue that's coming, the sleepover. It is a very wonderful, very cute issue, but it does not resolve Claire and the situation with going and visiting the boyfriend.
No, this is sandwiched in between those two stories.
so that's a little cruel of you, you know what I mean? But like I dig it, I like it,
That's
you know
funny.
what I mean? Yeah.
Well, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Let's, for people who aren't familiar with Scumburbia, why don't you give us like the overall, like let's say a quick elevator pitch to let people know what they're in for.
No, for sure. Yeah. Well, the series is essentially like, I kind of just blanket it as like a coming of age kind of series of teenagers who are stuck in suburbia and all the different interconnected stories that might seem extremely important and emotionally scarring to you at that time. But it's interesting to kind of, a lot of things are pulled from my life and experiences I've had or friends' lives and such. And at the time, what could be more dramatic. And it's just interesting now that me telling and drawing these stories are like, you can kind of read them and relive them with this distance where it's like, oh, I've grown a lot since then. And now you could either have the perspective of like, wow, was this as dramatic as it was back then? Or was I just, young at the time? But anyway, all that to be said, yeah, coming of age series about teenagers who have all these different personal dramas. And I won't give away this main overarching story, but essentially it follows two groups of kids and kind of focusing on the age gap and how the same problems for two kids in seventh grade versus two kids in high school could be vastly different. And I like kind of exploring how different personalities can be affected by certain circumstances.
And you play very heavily in subculture scenes. Like it's a very very scene book, you know what I mean? Like if you know what I mean, like scene as in like scene kids and stuff like that. Yeah. And like we were talking about off air, like this book, it is kind of timeless. There are like iPhones, like we were talking about off air, but like at the same time, this very much reminds me of like the end of my teenage years and the very early 2000s, like when the scene was actually first coming up, with bands like Thursday and Taking Back Sunday, and like the original time when girls were rocking the raccoon hairdo, you know what I mean? And I was actually hanging out at the mall, and we did have cell phones, so this book was very, very relatable to me. I mean, I was older at the time, but I would have to say, like, me and my best friend, we were pretty much Spike and Spunk. Really, that was kind of how we were, and like we were like totally into like punk rock and East Bay hardcore and shit like that, because like like I said, we were really close to the Bay Area, and yeah, no, it's just great. And another thing I really like is the band name you chose to use, Acquiring Satellites. That's just such a neat name because it could be a post-hardcore band. It could be a tech death band. Like it's a very, it could be an indie folk band. Like honestly, like it could, like that. That's why like I was just like, okay, it makes sense. Like why all these different kind of kids in different scenes would actually go buy the tickets, because like with that type of name, it could really fit into like a lot of different subcultures, you know?
Yeah, it's so funny because that name, like as you were talking about before, how like when you the end of that kind of world and era when you were back in high school or middle school, and like then when I was in high school it was like the tail end of it, but anyway, I bring that up because of what you said, where that name was like, so when I was in high school it was pre-iPhone and there were only GPSs around, and I just remember being so frustrated with GPS is acquiring satellites that it's always what it was saying and it couldn't register. And I don't know why. One day I was just like, oh, that would be like a ridiculous, like someone would name their band that. And exactly as you described, like some kind of post-hardcore band or whatever. Honestly, I haven't even figured out. It's a comic, so it's not like I have to really think like, what kind of sound would they have? And I probably will eventually. But yeah, I'm just curious, like how you said it's modern, but it's not modern. But yeah, if you read this now, and if you're like 20 now, you probably wouldn't even understand what does that mean? Acquiring satellites? What a GPS did that back then? So anyway,
And this book is, I didn't know what to expect, right? I didn't know anything about it. Johnny had got it before me. He got it in one of his orders from Pulp, and he's like, "Oh, you got to pick this up." I was like, "All right, next order, I'll throw it in my order."
sure.
And I like no, like completely blind going in. Johnny just said, "You got to read it. I'm pretty
That's
sure you'll
fun.
enjoy it."
Oh,
And I got to say, like theme wise, I think people that love like Terry Moore's work
yeah.
or Love and Rockets
Yeah,
will really
yeah.
enjoy this. You know, it's got
Oh,
that.
thanks.
It's got a good character development. Like the characters feel fleshed out, fully formed, even though you're just meeting them. It feels like you've been reading them for like 8 issues now, but you're just meeting them now. And I think you nail each one well, where everyone can relate to someone in their life. Maybe that would fit into the mold of this character, that character, which makes it so much. It gets you into the story a lot quicker that way. And I think you really channeled that really well.
Oh,
so,
thanks.
I mean, if people love those types of books, like any of Terry Moore's stuff or Love and Rockets, stylistic, like visually, it's not the same. But I think thematically and the way you tell the story, it definitely has a lot of similarities to it.
Oh, well, I think I also, and I'm sure we all did here, grew up in a time where it was hard to get stuff and things weren't accessible, where you could watch things in order. So I grew up where you just drop into whatever, whether it's finding an issue of a story or watching an episode of a show, and you just immediately get the characters, or like you can't watch it from the beginning. So I think it's because I grew up with that, I'm interested in just creating these stories where you don't have to read them in order, but if you do, there's an overarching story, and I want to try to develop as much character within each story as possible, so you can read it and feel satisfied, or hopefully it makes you want to dig up and find another one, you know?
Like the sleepover, that'll be the next one that'll be hitting Power Pulp soon.
And
that was a lot of fun. You sent us a copy so we could read it for the episode, and that one was a lot of fun.
Oh, thanks.
You know?
Yeah, that also as well. I gave it to someone recently, and they were like, who are these characters? Like, I feel like is there like, it feels, because he actually hadn't read the one before, so he was brand new to everything. And he was like, yeah, like this is like a chapter in like a series. Like I gotta find out. And I was like, oh, well, that's great. Like if you want to know more, then I'm hopefully doing my job.
Then I have the book just for you. It's called Mega Sized Mall Issues.
yeah, exactly. And I was like, you can go to powerpulp.com and get it.
And pick up Scumburbia.
Right.
Mega Sized Mall Issue, which is great. Like that may be one aspect that slowly, like malls, right? It's one thing that's I think is slowly being eliminated from today's society. You see malls getting closed down more and more because of online shopping and stuff. So it was really fun to have in it like a comic where like just, you know, as a kid, you didn't want to hang out around your house because of your parents, right? So you tried to find a spot where, you know, you wouldn't have as much adult supervision and stuff. So it could be like the parking lot behind the clinic where you just skateboard hitting the curbs or the ball, or so it definitely has that vibe, right? Where
and I mean, in preparation for both and probably going forward, I mean, the amount of photos I've taken of just the places I used to hang out. I just have folders of like the playground, the mall, the, like you said, behind the pharmacy. Just it's because it's like I could make that stuff up, but like I like referencing the real locations because it's so ingrained in me. And it's like, yeah, I remember it, but I'd rather have these photos. So I just have archives of like, and I took a lot of photos back then too. So it's fun to dig through and kind of, you know, mix them together, take certain photos and look at them and be like, oh, I like an element from there, and just try to make it feel as lived in as possible so people can relate, whether or not you grew up actually where I grew up in New Jersey. Hopefully it's universal. We're just, it's suburbia.
How is the mall scene in LA nowadays, man? Are they all closed up, or are there still some that people go to and hang out at?
Well, even when I moved here a little over 10 years ago, I mean, it was just, there were no, like before I left New Jersey, the malls were still not had already changed from how I depict them in this comic, because they all became kind of like high end or classy with security everywhere, or they just died out. Like, so in LA, I would say that they're the only malls that are here are really fancy, expensive malls,
High
unless
end.
I'm sure you drive out of LA. And there could be some old malls that look like they're from the 80s or 90s still around, scattered around. Maybe in like Orange County or San Bernardino or whatnot. But in LA, yeah, there aren't really any. I mean, in that mall that I kind of wish I got to see that's long gone, like the Sherman Oaks Galleria. That I'm almost like, this can be a fact check after. I think they filmed Fast Times at Ridgemont High
Yeah.
there. That's been complete. Like, that's nothing now. It's just like a movie theater and a cheesecake factory. So it's just sad. There aren't really any malls of like what you saw on screen, or at least, I mean, the mall that I went to got renovated and classed up in probably 2010 or something. So, yeah.
And it's becoming like a lot of malls that are abandoned. People go back and revisit like the empty malls and
Yeah.
explore them
Liminal
and stuff like
spaces.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
What's it?
There's
Minimal
this-
spaces or liminal?
Yeah.
Liminal.
Liminal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's a big trend now. Like you see it
Yeah.
every now and then. Yeah.
There's videos online of people
Yeah.
just walking through, and
Yeah.
Actually, when I drove across the country to bring the mall issue to different stores, we happened to pass by one of those malls that it was still open, but it felt abandoned because there were so many just kiosks, and the food court was just deserted. Like, everyone was closed, and I was like, oh, this is a good opportunity to put the comic in front of the food court and stand behind the
The counter?
vacant hot dog on a stick or whatever. So it was kind of funny to like lean into that and take some cool photos.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy here. Like in the cities, all the malls are closed, but like in the small towns, like kind of like Shawnee, where it's
Mhm.
close to where I live, there's a little one-story mall, and it's doing good. Everybody still kind of goes there. I don't know, the
Oh.
kids don't really hang out there, and it's not really super high end either. Like but it is kind of mostly restaurants now. Ish,
Okay, so it's a place to go sit and eat.
kind of. Yeah, at least that's how it looks on the outside. I haven't actually gone into it in like 3 years, so like I actually got to brave it and try to actually go in. See if the Hot Topic's still open. So,
Yeah, see if that's still around in there.
yeah, see if I could get a band shirt. I don't even know who's around right now. God damn.
I don't even know if they sell bench. I mean, I haven't been in one in a while, but I feel like it's all just cartoon. It's more like that other store, Box Lunch, now, that's like just pop culture.
Anime,
Okay.
stuff like that. Manga.
Yeah.
So as I read like your forward and stuff, and mall size is kind of not the first issue, but the way you said it's a great jumping on point. Like I think you had a few issues before it. but
Yeah,
the-
it's almost it's like it's like a surrogate. No, it's like, it's not the first issue with these characters I've ever done, but like, again, maybe a lot of artists feel this way, and I mentioned this before, that like, as you keep working, hopefully you keep getting more critical of your own work and improving. So when I made the quote unquote first issue, which was just like a short 25-page comic, it was almost like a test of, who are these characters? Let me craft this world. And it was so early on that it was like I hadn't fleshed out a whole story, and so I considered that issue 1. And then when I drew the next one, it was more like, okay, now I kind of know who these characters are, but now I'd like to weave this whole thing into a bigger story and kind of set things up so it's not creating little threads as I go along, even though they're all self-contained. So this kind of like mega one was almost like, let me make one big long issue that's technically not, that's why it's not called issue number 2 or 3. It just has its own title. So I would, in the plan, which I would hope to accomplish, would be to go back and take that one kind of issue 1/zine and kind of redo it and kind of put it out as an official issue 1. So it's almost like issue 1 would be coming after the mall issue, which maybe I won't call it that, but it would be, if I ever collect them in one large book, I would certainly put that at the beginning. And the one prior to that is also quite short. I mean, it's like 20 or 30 pages, like comparatively. And that one is one that, again, like as I move forward, it's like, oh, I'd love to go back and like tinker with it in terms of the art, maybe not so much the story, and kind of like plus it up to the level of that and kind of make it all cohesive. I know that's a slippery slope where artists could do that forever. I heard a story that Arkrum at his own gallery took a pen and was fixing the art while it was on display. I don't know if I want to be that, but I do want to kind of at least get them all looking in as one solid piece.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, I think it's funny you call it an issue because a mall issue, it's a graphic novel. That thing,
Yeah.
like, it's like 80, 90 pages. It's almost 100 pages, I think, right?
Yeah, I think if you don't count the like, I asked some artists to do their interpretations of the characters. So I think like on its own, it's like 77 pages or something like that. So yeah, that is quite long, but I guess I just called it mall issue because it didn't intend to be that long. It was actually supposed to be shorter, but I wanted to give myself room to breathe and not rush anything, and it just ended up sticking with the name.
Oh, I appreciate it, man. I like getting a nice big chunk, European style. You know what I mean? Like that's good. And like you were saying, like of course, like when you're reading this, the characters are referencing past events and they're telling stories. But like in a way, I hate to make this a comparison, but it's kind of like a Kevin Smith movie. You know how like when you're watching Clerks and they're already telling you about Chloe London and all the weird characters that
For
are
sure.
in town. That's kind of how I felt about the mall issue. And I actually thought it was your first comic when I got it, and then I looked you up and I saw you had a store, and then I saw like everything you had done before that was like sold out, and I was just like hella bummed out. And I remember that's the first time I talked to you. I think I asked you if you maybe had any of your old stuff around, and you're like, you might be able to find issue 2 of the original issue 2 of Scumburbia on eBay, but like, yeah, no, good luck, buddy. And I was just like, okay, cool.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's funny because again, it was like, I just feel like as you go on and you figure yourself out, it's like those issues were so kind of like thrown together that they were like, I made them and I sold them and I was happy with them at the time, but now it's like, okay, now this is where I feel like it's begun, so I want to reference that. And it's cool to hear that, like, even though you don't know what they're referencing, it at least isn't jarring, because I hope to bring what they're referencing into the story anyway in a way that I can take that and kind of incorporate it after. And it's funny, yeah, like speaking of like the Kevin Smith stuff, like I totally like the movies that I really liked growing up, like Dazed and Confused and Clerks and like I mentioned before, Fast Times, and like I just love Ghost World. Like I loved all these coming of age movies where it was like the characters in there were, I mean, for sure Kevin Smith more because he's referencing other films and such, but all those movies kind of talk about each character's past when you don't really see them, and I always found that really interesting. Like, oh, all of them have their own life and they're developed in this story even though we might never get to see it, and that always intrigued me.
Right, yeah, I didn't want to make a comparison because of the movie Mallrats, and it's like this is so much different than that was, honestly.
Sure.
So, and like it's very much different than his kind of humor at all. So like I didn't want to make the comparison, but just the way you kind of jump in on these characters, and it just feels real. Like everybody seems realistic, and even if you do address like the thing that happened with Alexa and Spike and Spunk in the past in a future issue, I don't mind not knowing like the mystery of like what could have possibly happened on the last caper. It's hilarious, you know what I mean? And is that in either the first issue?
No, actually, it's funny you pointed that one out because that one isn't. That was just to build character, to kind of just establish that there's some history there. So that one is. Oh, I think you're muted.
Yeah,
Joe. I was coughing before, so
I. That's okay.
Yeah, but I think that's such great. Like, it gives you such a like wide reader base that you can go get, because you can get the younger people which will relate, you know, and then you get the older people, like, because you reflect on your past when you're a kid, you relate. Like, I remember I had a friend like that, or I remember being in that situation. So. You can get a lot of younger readers and you get a lot of older readers too, right? I think it's got a very broad appeal, telling these types of stories like coming of age, slice of life, you know.
I think because I never go too crazy or vulgar or whatnot, because it's like at the time I kind of like making stories that I would have liked to have discovered, let's say 7th grade or whatnot, where it's like, you know, maybe you could be older if you read and you won't possibly understand all of it, but it's still something where you feel like you relate to it in some regard, and it's not so, you know, it's not like an exploitation comic where it's like, oh, I shouldn't be looking at this at all. And also that's why I like having characters in 7th grade and in, you know, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, because I like separating the stories, because for me growing up, I felt like I was always like more innocent and younger for my age. So like in 7th grade, thinking back to myself, I was like a kid, and which I was, of course, but I mean younger than the kids in my grade, or I felt that way. But anyway, I bring that up because like I always like to frame the Spike and Spunk or 7th grader stories as more kind of adventurous and more comical and goofy, and the high school one is more set in quote unquote reality, even though it's all the same universe, but it's more just like the problems get more heavy,
more dramatic,
and
more drama,
more dramatic, and even if it's the same issue, you're still not quite as developed yet, where it's hitting you in a way that might depress you, where it's still kind of fun, and you're simpler, I would say.
Well, everything that you have the characters do, like there might be some slight exaggeration to like but like everything else is kind of shit that like really happens, or like
That's
you
what I
see
try
really
to.
happening. There's a lot of realism to the book. I think that's what makes it hyper relatable, and you're also really good with the emotional depth that you bring up into the book, especially in Sleepover. Like the way you the book is like really funny through the most of it, but you get this really kind of great emotional ending to the issue that I really liked, man.
Thanks. No, I appreciate that. I think like I always liked emotion and comedy. I mean, like I grew up with The Simpsons, and they were like the king of like comedy and emotion, and that and whatever other movies I liked at the growing up. That humor is great and action and adventure, but I always liked having some kind of, hopefully in not a schmaltzy way, like just something that was real, because I like pulling from my own life and things that I would have felt, or family members or siblings or friends, and just try to like portray it as realistically as possible, and not in like an attempt to like, oh, I want to get you to feel anything. More just like, this is how I would have felt, and put it on the page.
Well, I mean, like, yeah, I mean, like you pointed out, like a lot of it is about trivial things that just seem super important when you're kids, and that's kind of like how the ending of the Sleepover issue is. But at the same time, like it's really impactful. But you leave on that one great joke with just like kind of like, that didn't actually really happen, but geez, the crazy shit white girls can get away with, man. Type of joke at the end. That's great, man.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. I wanted to have some kind of humor at the end, to not have it totally be, because honestly, again, it's like very simple. Like sometimes things get blurred in my mind, where it's like something did happen, and then it's like, did I actually make this up, or did this happen, or did someone say that like in my life? And then it's like, oh, I just kind of craft something to be like, that's something that would have happened. Oh, actually, I can't hear you.
Joe, you're like glitching, bro.
Yeah.
And I love how it's almost Peanuts-esque, where you never see the parents, kind of.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's
Oh yeah, my connection's not good.
Yeah, you got a delay, bro.
I'm gonna log out and I'll log back in.
Okay.
Sure. Well, I guess I'll respond to that anyway. That like, yeah, it is funny, because like I went back and forth with like, do I want to show parent characters and have parents involved in this story? And at least in the ones so far, no. I mean, they're adults that they interact with, but parents of these kids, it's funny. I haven't quite figured that out yet, because part of me, it's so funny that Peanuts was mentioned, because that was totally what was going on in my mind. About like, yeah, I like it just focusing on the kids, because I think when you're a kid, sometimes you feel like you are the center of the universe, and your parents are just there. And anyway, and I'm not saying I felt that way necessarily, but I think that was just like, sometimes all kids feel like that. And anyway, so I keep going back and forth how involved I want to make that in this story. So we'll see. I might keep it, as you said, more Peanuts-esque, and never have them involved, just referenced, which they will be, but.
Yeah, I think the security guard's the only adult.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in the new one, there's that woman that gets pizza delivered to.
Oh, yeah.
That's it.
Oh, yeah, the Karen. The super Karen.
Yeah. And again, that's just like, I knew someone who used to deliver pizzas, and would just tell me stories of people who would. It was just almost all of this is just, it's fiction, but it's pulled from stories that I've heard of people telling me that it's like, oh, that would be great to incorporate.
and I like that aspect of that story from the sleepover, where you got the girl who's in college now. She's removed from high school and trying to give, because she sees so much of herself in this girl, right? This young girl who's in 7th grade, trying to give her advice, and advice coming from someone that's just removed from the thing you're in hits home more than an adult trying to tell you, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Because as an adult, you're like, you're too old, you don't understand. But someone who's just immediately removed from the thing, you can kind of relate to and believe a little more as a young person, right?
Yeah, because you might not trust, and also even if it's not intentional, it's possible that someone older, they've just moved on and they have their own set of issues that they consider greater, so they can't really empathize in the same way that someone close, like exactly as you said, close to the same age would be able to. So that younger person might be like, oh yeah, like if they had the same pep talk from an adult, it might not mean anything.
Yeah, because also as a child, the adult is in like mode to protect you, so they're just telling you what you want to hear to make you feel better. They're not being straight or real with you, right? Yeah. So you got that kind of built-in self-defense mechanism that.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, and I also liked the dynamic of like sometimes when you're young and you don't have perspective really, and so you feel like, oh, this is what every sibling relationship is like, and then you see another sibling like, oh wait, no, it isn't always like this way. And we would just assume, because we haven't seen the parents of these characters, that maybe the parents aren't the greatest parents potentially if the daughter has turned out that way. So
I really think people are in for a treat if they enjoyed the Scumburbia mega-sized mall issue. They're gonna love the sleepover. You have winks to like horror movies and all this stuff, and so people who love like the horror genre will get a little taste. It's a fun issue. You really banged out a great, what is it, like 30, almost 40 pages? It's like a double-sized issue.
Yeah, 35. Yeah.
So I mean, you banged out a great story in 35 pages, and
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
And the next one will be actually picking up from the mall one. So this is just a nice, like I said, a little break in between.
I was giggling so hard when I was reading the prank when it actually happened. Like the utterly terrifying mask, and then the neighbor just seeing him.
The face when she's taking a drag. Like, I love that face. That's great.
And then this is the last I'm going to show, man. Like right before it all goes bad. But like, oh man, are you laughing so hard when this goes bad? Like
it's coming, right? You just don't. You're like,
well, I'm curious. I mean, I don't know how much I want to actually give away about that, but I would hope that not you, because I've asked certain people. Some people had a feeling, and some people had no idea. And I like that I'm able to just kind of. It's fun to hear different people's thoughts of like, what is going to happen? It's like, oh, I had no idea that was going to happen.
Well, it's one of two scenarios, right? And I was just curious which one you were going to go with.
That's funny. So you're in the camp of you had a feeling.
I was like, oh, he's a young boy.
Yeah.
Well, Spike and Spunk got a show. They're going to remember that.
Well, that's what I was saying. Like. The prank turned into something a little more for him.
Right. Exactly.
So I don't know. Did you want to? I have the issue here. We could flip through it. We could put it up on the cam. We could flip through, give people a little taste of the size small issue, and we could touch on a few things as we.
That'd be great.
It.
Whoops.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Sick.
Why is that?
Oh, crap. My thing came undone. Wait, just a sec. I got to type it. There we go. All right. Here we go. Perfect. So Scumburbia, this is where you explain a little bit the previous issues.
This reminds me a little bit of the opening of Daria, though. The volleyball scene in particular just kind of reminds me of, like, you remember the opening credits where she like purposely missed the ball?
Well, believe it or not, I've never watched that show, and
Okay.
it's funny because it's totally the type of show I would like, but I always when of the time when I was people were like, you would love it. It was like I got too nervous. Like it seems similar to what I'm doing, so I don't want to be influenced at all.
Not really. Like just
Oh, okay.
just
Good.
aside from the one sight gag, I just
Yeah.
thought you were homaging a little bit, man.
Oh
Like,
no, but if you're saying it's not, I totally want to watch that because it's been on my list for a while.
ish. Like Daria was kind of more about hipsters, whereas this, I guess you could say some of the characters are hipster-ish, but like
Sure.
this is actually about like kids in different subcultures of the scene. So
Okay.
like that show never really went into that. Plus, it tried to be too smart. All right,
Oh.
where you have your points, but like you actually mock the people that try to be too smart, like the stoned boyfriend at the end, and kind of
Right.
Zach, the other stoned boyfriend. Like, yeah, all the stoned boyfriends that try to be profound, you kind of portray as pretentious douches a little bit. So that's that. Yeah.
Sure. Sure. But
Oh.
yeah, no, the volleyball thing, I don't know. It's just because again, like I have so many memories of like not wanting to play sports in gym, but you had to, and that was just one of the ones that I feel like was all. I don't know why volleyball came up so often. It's like, oh, I don't want to play it, so it's like, you know what? Let's throw that in as the beginning.
Well, they do it for us when it was raining on the up in Modesto, like in the stormy season. Like that's when we play volleyball in the gym. So
Oh, so only when it was raining.
ish, like that time of year when like they didn't want
Right.
to play out there in the mud and stuff.
Ah.
And just so people see, it's like magazines format.
Oh yeah.
So it's a little bigger. It's a larger format, which is always cool. Johnny and I always like that.
Sure.
So
And your art style, what do you use to ink? Just wondering.
I'm gonna butcher the name of it's a Japanese pen. Here, let's see how I can actually pronounce it. But I pencil in with blue lead, and then I ink with I fill in blacks with a brush, and I, for the most part, ink with this one brush-ish pen, but it's a very thin, fine point. And then I also have some microns for fine detail. So it's kind of like a combination of those.
Okay, because you get your black so dark, you know what I mean, like that Junji Ito black. You know what I mean, it's
Yeah, well, I do, and I like to really layer the blacks on the page, and then afterwards I'll go in because every page is scanned, and this is so this is kind of interesting and probably strange to a lot of people, but I pencil the lettering and ink the lettering on paper because I like looking at finished lettering. But I go back in and then I change it to a font of my handwriting and then adjust a lot of the text within that font. It sounds like a crazy, tedious process, but I can never get my handwriting on the page to look how I want it to. So in that regard, it's like the text is like a mixture of everything. But I bring that up because when I scan it in to deal with the text, I also will adjust little things in Photoshop, and sometimes make the blacks even richer and such. So
okay. I love that ad, the Spike figure and the little mall yard. Yeah,
thanks. Yeah, what's funny about that is that ad started as a joke. Like I made that just because I wanted to put a fake mall ad in there, and I asked a friend who works in CG, Chris Saldana, to is it hard to render a CG character of Spike because it would just look better than if I drew it? And he was like, yeah, I think I can do that. So he was able to, and then a friend of mine actually saw that and was like, I can 3D print that into toys. So we made about 20 of those Spike figures that I sold at Comic-Con, which is really funny. It all started from this fake ad.
Did you do blister packs and everything, or were they just loose figures?
They were. Is blister pack when it's in a plastic, and is that
yeah?
Yeah. That's what it was. It was sealed in plastic with a little label.
Very cool. So they sold well?
Yeah, they're gone. Yeah,
they're all gone. Yeah,
I just have a few broken ones left.
Yeah, I suppose the Spikes, the hair must be pretty fragile.
That's exactly what happened.
Yeah. Looks great though.
I'll just say a shout out to Awful Quiet is the Instagram of the artist who made them for me. He makes comics too.
Very cool. Very cool. So here you have the intro. I love how they get their own little header.
Oh, cool. Thanks.
get their own little title and get introduced to them. Great characters. Love this panel. Where it's just the face. I love when people do that. Just the face, kind of, you know.
Yeah. Me too. I like that as well. It's nice to break up.
Yeah, I like
My
that.
favorite thing about drawing these pages and comics in general is I try to never, unless it's part of the gag or joke to repeat a panel, I try to like put a different scene in each panel so you feel like, you know, it's as immersive as possible.
Yeah.
What size do you draw at?
Just a standard 11 by 17, like Bristol.
Yeah.
So, Spunk, I mean, he's trying to play it cool, but he actually really likes April, right? Like, he's just trying to be cool about it.
I can't answer that.
I mean,
you have to read the book to find out.
Yeah. No, that I tease that. Yeah, I tease that there's something going on there. I just, I didn't want to resolve anything or get into that quite yet. But yes, that there's something happening.
well, they're still kids, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, they don't have to like try to lay anything down just yet.
You might not even know what you feel at that age.
Yeah, that's it. They're at that age where it's like, you still find girls icky, or are you starting to like, you know, that exactly. Stage, and yeah. Whereas like the sister, she's what, a couple years? Sheena, she's a couple years older.
Yeah, I always thought that she would be like older for her grade. Like I figured that she's like a senior at 18 or something like that.
Okay, she failed once or twice.
Yeah. And that mall right there is literally based on the mall I went to. Like I just have so many photographs. It's kind of pieced together. You know, there's a few elements of other malls, but it's essentially the mall I grew up going to in New Jersey. Actually, so many of the mall interiors are just photos I took for angles and such, and then kind of
great splash.
Double Splash is beautiful.
Oh, thanks.
There's so much going on. I love, like, you can take, this is a great page because you could just linger on it for minutes at a time and just like checking out all the different clicks and people, what they're doing. And
yeah, well, those are the pages I loved looking at growing up. Like I loved looking at like Sergio Aragonés spreads in Mad Magazine and just finding hidden gags and such. And this is not as detailed as that, but it's totally in the DNA. I would say it's there of why I was drawn to this.
I'm just curious because I love the way you use your blacks. Like this kid, his back is to you, so he's all in black, which signifies the absence of light, right? Because the light's coming from the front. So it's a great way to use like it's still very graphic, your style, but I love the way you establish the lighting and stuff, even without like gradients and stuff like that, like gray tones.
Yeah, I try to do it with just black and white as much as possible.
Kind of like a Charles Burns.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites, and I would say like I studied his books to look at the blacks when I discovered him.
And if you knew, let's say if you were going to color something, would you change your style up the way you do your inks?
Yeah, no, that's funny because like I don't color things often, but I do here and there. Like I send out holiday cards sometimes, and I haven't colored a comic, but when I do color, it's actually very hard for me because my instinct is to just fill black in instead of color, and sometimes black on top of color works, but sometimes it doesn't. So it's a much harder process for me because if I don't put any blacks, it's all color, and I never liked how that looked. But I really like how the cartoonist Kaz has used black and color because he does a lot of stuff where it's graphic and he fills black in with color and it somehow works. And when I've done things like that, that's kind of what I do, where like I leave it if it feels appropriate, but sometimes it doesn't, and I have to just go full color.
Yeah, because I mean, people that don't draw or something might not realize it's a different approach, right? When you're working on a book in black and white.
Yeah.
Whereas opposed like where you have color, where like I was talking to Adrian over Comic-Con, we're talking about like black and white as opposed to color, where you could give like the background of like a tonal value that'll make it set it back, and the foreground characters are more saturated and more, you have more contrasting colors, right? Whereas black and white, you don't have that. So you kind of have to use either stronger lines around the foreground characters to make them pop to the front, or so we were having a little discussion about that. So
Yeah, no, that's absolutely true. Yeah, you don't have that kind of luxury of like, oh, I can just blur that or like, lay that in the background. It's like, okay, I have to really plan on silhouetting these characters somehow. And where am I going to put black so they'll pop, even though it might not be an accurate light source, but it just is like purely for the ease of reading.
Yeah. And I love this sequence after the double
Oh,
splash.
thanks.
The action, like it gets a closer in on the action and really pinpoints what each set of people are doing. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I love your use of blacks here.
Oh,
it actually goes from more white to less, and then
yeah. Thank you.
It has a good flow to the page.
I know she's supposed to be the bad guy, but I kind of really like Sheena. She makes me laugh.
Well, it's funny because it's up to, I don't know if she is supposed to be like, everybody's like young and complicated and confused and has their own issues, and it's just I just want to portray these people kind of as they are, and it's kind of up to the viewer to decide if they feel like it's almost like when you hear an actor talking about them playing a villain and they're like, oh well, I didn't think he's a villain, I had to really like live as that character and be like, I can understand where he's coming from. And it's like, oh, but really he killed 10 people,
And you got the Invader Zim kids here, like tickets. Yeah, they are hilarious. The creepy twins, the way they back away. Boom, boom.
Yeah. And that was another cartoonist that I loved reading growing up, and I loved looking at the black and whites in those comics and the Johnny the Homicidal Maniac and Squee and stuff.
Yeah, I just meant like, those characters, they totally look like they have like Invader Zim Funko Pops. Totally.
Right here again, the people that have their backs to you are all in black, and the facing character has the light. I love that. It's such a simple trick, but it's so effective, right? I mean,
great.
Yeah, I mean, I say simple, but I mean, a lot of people don't realize it and they don't apply it, right? And it's like,
sure, when
applied properly, and how you balance it out with the top here is black and they're black, so it gives a nice balance to the page. It's really great paneling right there.
Well, it's really cute too. It's almost like there's a spotlight on her for her little presentation too, where you meet the hero of the book, Alexa. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, and it's again the kind of thing where like realistically, would there be a light source like that? No, but I want to lead your eye directly there, so it's like let's just throw it in.
Well, it's justified for the story, right?
Sure.
It's in service of the story, and that's what storytelling's all about, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Like, just great. Like, I love, like, just the silhouette, kind of the highlights. It's fun. I love the pacing. The story was great. I mean, all your characters are very distinct. There aren't, like, you don't get confused because you give each character their own look, right?
Yeah,
which is great.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things to do. Like, if you can just create a silhouette with a character, it's just instantly recognizable. And like, one of my pet peeves is reading a comic and like I get confused sometimes, like who is who, and it's like, no, I don't want to go back and read the page a few times. And it's like, obviously this is very cartoony, so like, a comic with more realistic characters, I'm sure I might struggle with that too. But that's why for me, I've given myself an easier task of like, no, these are stylized, so you will never be confused.
Yeah. But that's a great tip for anyone who's like doing comics. Like, make a silhouette that's very distinguishable. Right? That's a good tip to give people. I like that.
Yeah. I mean, but honestly, that just comes from because I love comics and animation, and obviously this applies to both. But in animation, like, you never get confused at Mickey's head, at Bart's head, at SpongeBob. Yeah. Like, just if you can create a silhouette of a character, then you will never be confused, even if it's just in the dark or anything.
Yeah, that's some great advice to give anyone that's cartooning. Yeah. Love this panel.
Oh,
the hangout, the secret hangout,
and that was totally real. Like, I was an innocent, 14-year-old. Went to the mall and like my friend was like, look in here, and I opened that and that's what I saw, and I was like scared and like blown away, and I was like, oh my god, people just hang out in the alleyway there and do this.
Yeah, see, like the first time I smoked, I think my friend's sister had her graduation party, and I was 2 years younger, and sitting around the campfire, you know, and they're just passing a joint around, and I was sitting around the fire with them, and it just got passed to me, right? So, you know, so it's just one of those natural things where you kind of not forced into something, you just happenstance to be around these people, and like they don't treat you like, oh, you're the young kid, get the fuck out of here, you know. They're just like, hey, here you go, and you feel like, all right, I'm like one of the older kids, you know. So
this story right here, where like the guy makes the pretentious boyfriend explain that when he was a teenager, he got caught banging a chick at the mall, and he had to watch the videotape with his parents.
Again, another thing that allegedly really happened to someone I knew in high school.
Legend, man. No, it's not a legend. It fucking sucked, bro. That was such great dialogue.
Great panel sequence, and then
the heist.
Moment, you get the little moment here where
Spunk comes in and defends April.
Yes,
this is the first hint that maybe, you know, like it's great stuff, man. I love it all.
Well,
like here too, just the way you frame it, right? So like the light source, like you said, you kind of play with it, but always framing it, right? Like the black, so the central point is there, the doors are black, you know, he's got the, you know, so very clear, like it's not confusing, it's very easy for the reader to follow the pacing, you know, your eye follows through from panel to panel, like transition from panel to panel very smoothly. It's
great. I mean, that's really my main goal. Like if anything, like, you know, I said I want to go back and correct some drawing mistakes in earlier issues, but if anything, like I just want to make it clear and easy to read, because that's if a reader, in my opinion, is confused, then you've kind of lost them. And like as much as I can, I want to just make it smooth. And anything else of tinkering with things, I think people read comics so fast, it's more for me than the reader anyway. They might not know that the hand could be drawn better, as opposed to like they're not confused reading the story.
And like very traditional paneling, you know, like you don't get crazy with your paneling. You have a few
when it's appropriate or called for, I like to break it like that.
Like here, kind of. You have like a
or the page after too.
Two-third page, like here, because they're rocking the machine, so you kind of, you know. But
actually, if anything, I played more with panel structure in the new one that I sent you guys, the one that's coming out this month, where I was trying to break it up a little more and make you know, have it less traditional and kind of see what I can get away with.
But you don't go crazy, right? Sometimes
no.
I mean, it's fun sometimes when people try different things, but like you said, it can get a little confusing where you read the page, you're like, oh shit, I didn't read it in the right order, so you go back and read it in the proper order, right? Like
I don't like that.
Sometimes people hit it out of the park, and other times it's a bit of a puzzle on how to read a page.
And for this story in particular, or this series, it just, when it feels appropriate, I'll use it. But if I was making more of an experimental comic or something, maybe more kind of that's like, I don't know, had certain sequences that called for it, then I might do that. But it has never really felt like it's necessary quite yet.
You get the little hand touch there between April and Spunk. I love the food court scene too. You get back to that, like with the food court psychic and man.
Yes, that's right.
I think I'll skip to the end. We'll leave a little bit for so to keep people. There's that splash page there. Where was it? Like, this is a great splash page.
Oh, thanks.
Aviator Mike.
Great stuff. Love that splash page. Did I go past one with Spike where he's? I went past.
Yeah, their part's over.
Yeah, where was it? Oh, right there. Another splash page.
Oh, yes.
You have a few here and there, but you don't go overboard, you know. So
no. And you can actually spot in the background of that page that the two girl characters, Claire and Zoe, are in the background.
The scene in the record store too with Sheena and Zach, dude, like that. But Jug Handle, Alexa's always one step ahead, man.
Oh yeah,
so good. Like you'll laugh so hard at this book if you haven't read it yet, man. Like it's just some realistic teen shit. You know what I mean? You nailed it. And then I even though he's kind of a pretentious douchey guy, the point that he makes about the Toys R Us was very poignant. I really that part of his little wig out. Like I feel that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like the Toys R Us was right there by the mall, and
Same for
Modesto.
me.
So yeah, so it probably would be a place I'd go smoke weed in front of, maybe.
Oh yeah, and this was a page where it was just artists that I admire and friends of mine, just asked them, hey, I'd love to see your interpretations of some of these characters. And it was really, really fun and interesting to see other people's styles drawing these guys.
This one, I think I got it. I don't know if it was a sticker or a bookmark of this one.
Oh, a trading card?
Trading card.
Yeah, that's John Allen. He makes really great comics.
This is the 3D rendering?
You know what? That's a different... It's not, believe it or not. I think that's 2D made to look 3D, which he did a great job.
Yeah, good stuff. I love it. That's like more of a, how would you say, manga-ish style?
Yeah,
a little bit.
Kind of, I would say.
Like almost like a Jen Woodall style, I'd say.
Yeah, it's Brenna Thumler. She's like an Oni Press cartoonist. Sheets, if you've heard of that graphic novel.
Sheets.
Okay, yeah.
Good stuff. That one, the gruesome.
Yeah, that one is great. Yeah.
Yeah, they're all good. They all have their own little layer. And the ads in the back.
Some real ads made to look fake.
Yeah. Well, I assume the T-shirt one was probably real.
It is real. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess the mail order form is fake, but I guess technically that is real too, because it's a P.O. box I have, but I figured no one's really going to cut that up. It's just you can go on the website.
Yeah, you never got any?
No, only website orders. No one really knows.
You watch now, you'll probably get some with the books going out. People will probably send it in old school.
That's funny. Yeah.
So this is an actual record shop?
Yeah, Smart Punk Records is a label actually where they put out records of bands like new pressings of bands that I liked, and I did their logo for their company, and so they always set up at venues and at tours like Warped Tour. They set up, and they have a store in Florida, and they put out like a lot like Less Than Jake and a lot of other bands and such. So anyway, because I did their logo, I was like, oh, let's do a 20% off code if in here, a little collab.
Mall Rat, 20% off.
Yeah.
So you did this? And
no, not the text, just the record guy and the dog.
The record guy and the dog? Okay,
yeah.
Got you. And what's this up here, the original art?
Yeah, this is Athenium. Sean, who runs it, is a great guy, and he's kind of like my original art rep in a sense. So like, he if you go to his site, if you like any of the pages from this comic or the upcoming comic, like you can buy them from there, and like I make them pretty affordable, I would say. And it's 11 by 17. Those are scans of the real inked pages, and I pick the ones that I are okay getting rid of, but also like I feel like people would like, because a lot of them I want to hold on to, and you can get them from there.
So you go and you curate a selection from your books.
I do, but if anyone ever wanted a specific page, I could, they could talk to me, and then we could, if for some reason I was like, no, I don't want to get rid of this one, but it all depends. So yeah. Oh yeah.
Patreon. Yeah,
Patreon, where I post things in advance, PDFs of the comic, and like if you join at a certain level, you just get the comics. And I always post the work in progress. I usually post for people to see like while I'm working on a comic, like each day a finished penciled page or inked page. You could see the work in progress if that's interesting to you. And I mail some other stuff out, like stickers, holiday cards once in a while. And the last page is just a jokey fake mall directory of all the stores that would be in this fictional mall.
Great stuff. Very cool. Nice black back.
Oh yeah.
It's got that nice grippy gloss to it. I forget what that type of coating's called.
Soft laminate.
So
that's good on the fingers, man. I love it.
Scumburbia.
Great.
So we'll be giving away either an issue of the mall issue or the new issue, the sleepover, if you enter Power Pulp into the chat. We got a giveaway coming up for Sam. And for the new issue, are you kickstarting that, or are you just printing that and having it put out?
No, it's printed and done, and it's here. And I'm gonna be at San Diego Comic Con on the 22nd to the 26th, so I'll have it there in person. But it's gonna be available to buy from my site, I think, this Monday. So it's gonna be officially released next week.
And will it be up on PowerPulp? Or?
Yeah, sorry. It'll be my site, PowerPulp, and then all the stores that it gets to through PowerPulp as well.
Yeah. So sweet. Yeah. So but probably by the time we spin the wheel, it'll be available on the shop. So.
Yeah. And I will say that the mall issue is not available through me anymore. It's only PowerPulp. So if you want that one, that's where you got to go.
Okay. Very cool. So you mentioned San Diego. Do you have any other shows, cons, or any events coming up that you want to plug?
Actually, on November 14th, I organized a comic show in LA called Silver Lake Comics, which is partnering with Silver Lake Shorts, which is like a monthly animation screening here. But in LA, the animation and comics community is so intertwined that we have a big comics festival. It's in a Mexican restaurant outdoors, so people get margaritas and buy comics. But it's a good show, and it's at night, so there's no heat, and it's from 4 to 8:30 on November 14th, and that is at El Cid in Silver Lake, and that is a fun show as well.
Right on. You're muted, Joe.
Sorry, I blew my nose, so I muted.
Oh,
what was the date of that you said in November?
November 14th.
14th. Okay. Cool. Very cool. Do you have any local shop signings or anything like that, or just those events?
Nothing set up as of yet. No, it's just so brand new that it's just Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con for now. And if there's anything else coming up, I'll let you know.
Very cool. Very cool. All right, Johnny. Do you have any last things to touch on?
Yeah, no, I just was no, I think we kind of covered it all. Aside from maybe so it's just going to be available at the con, huh? That's when you're debuting it?
Yeah, I'm debuting it there, but I think there'll be an early it probably will not be shipped out till after the convention, but I'm going to, accept pre-orders and stuff, and available online and through PowerPulp within the month as well. So that's where it'll be for now. And then any other stores it'll be at, I'll post about in the coming weeks.
And I guess aside from that, do you have another issue in the works, or
I do, yeah. I'm working on the next one called Slice of Life, and that one is a direct follow-up to the mall issue. Which will continue the story of Claire and Zoe, and that one is currently in its beginning its pencils stage because I just finished thumbnailing it. So probably a year out, unfortunately. Okay. But that's how long till it'll be done. That one will be about the same amount of pages as the mall issue, so it'll be a little bit. Unless I decide to split it up into two because I just want to get it out there, but I probably will keep it as one big issue.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, thanks. Right on, yeah. No, thank you so much for coming, Sam.
Oh, for sure. Thanks for having me. It was really great to be here, and I'm glad you guys liked it, and I'm really happy that you're going to give it out to someone as well. And it's a great show, and I'm really happy that you guys put it on.
I don't know how you could, and I mean, right now it's a great time for this book too, because virtually any music scene that's been around since I've been alive is in revival right now. Post-hardcore's in revival, pop punk's in revival.
That's so true.
Boy punk's in revival, tech death's in revival. Yeah. Deathcore is in revival. All these scenes are going right now. So this is a great time to have a book that just kind of caters to all of that. You know what I mean? Really.
That is great. That's funny. That's true. Yeah. Yeah. You know what? I considered even this comic has been sold at a few record stores. And I got to reach out to more because that's a place where they probably, maybe someone would pick it up.
That initial story evolves around them trying to get tickets, right?
Yeah.
That's what kind of pushes the story forward.
Yeah.
Well, both narratives pretty much are about the tickets. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So just to remind people, to win a copy of Sam's book, either giant mall size or the upcoming sleepover issue, which will be dropping in the near future. You could write Power Pulp. You're almost out of time to drop it in the live chats, but if you're catching this on the replay, go down in the episode comments, write it in the episode comments on YouTube, and you'll have an entry to win, for a chance to win one of Sam's books off the Power Pulp site. Also, upcoming shows. Tuesday we have Tuesday's 14th. We have Shelley Bond will be coming on.
Oh, cool. And
possibly we'll have another episode for John and is it Brian McCrae?
Brian McCrae, yeah, Bam. We're gonna have them.
Yeah, we'll possibly be on before the end of the week to talk about the Emerald Emu issue 2, which is on Kickstarter as we speak.
Yeah, I actually made a thing. If you want to put the QR code up, I made one before the show. Here, I'll put it up. The Emerald Emu Kickstarter right there. Got the QR code.
So the QR code up in the left-hand corner is for the Kickstarter for Emerald Emu, so you can scan that before we log off, and it'll bring you over to the Kickstarter to back that book. So that pretty much sums it up. Thanks again, Sam. Great talking to you. Love the book.
Thank you.
People go check it out, or keep your fingers crossed, and in a couple weeks we'll be spinning the wheel. We'll spin the wheel before the issue probably hits, but we can wait. If you want to get the sleepover, we'll wait, and once the issue's available, we'll have it sent to you. So that's an option. So if you have the first one, don't worry, enter anyway, and if you want to take a chance to win it, we'll spin the wheel. You could win the sleepover. If not, well, you'll have to go to Power Pulp or to Sam's site and buy it yourself.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. So Johnny, man, are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. I think it's that time, man. It's outro time.